Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
I thought I did. What did I say?
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Hi.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. I just want to let everyone know we are already streaming on our live stream, so a warning.
Oh, so we shouldn't say anything about your mustache, though?
You like that?
This is the first time seeing your mustache.
Yeah.
Interesting. You remind me more of people my age with that mustache. I don't know if you ever saw Buddy's mustache when he was young. Somebody said he should have had his own Facebook page, his mustache show. So he had a very impressive one. Hi, Ruth.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hey, everybody. Shabbat shalom.
You too. How you doing?
Such a bright light.
Good. You're looking good.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. You guys
Brian.
are so bright.
We'll try again. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Hey,
shalom.
shalom.
how'll come out?
Shabbat shalom, folks.
The lighter, you're muted.
What?
The light is on mute.
Hi. Try one more time, Aletta.
Unmute. There we go. Okay. I held up the phone before because I was talking to my granddaughter in California and showing her everybody. At Shabbat Shalom.
Very good.
And she said I should go to services wearing my hat.
Very nice.
Oh,
Very nice.
It says bad hair. So,
See it.
You always
Couldn't
have
read it.
coffee at this time.
yeah, well, yeah, it's hard to read, but it says bad hair day on it.
Bad hair day. Cute.
oh. I need one of those.
That's good for
Yeah, I
now.
know.
Yeah, I need that.
If I could stuff all my bad hair in it, yeah.
It looks fine.
Someday they'll open up the beauty parlors and we'll all rush in.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm thinking ponytails will be the new fashion statement.
Oh, we can get a little more hair out there. Yeah.
Right.
I'll go to the hairdresser at the same time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
One of my friends from Ohio posted that her appointment's at 12:15 on May 15th, because that's when they're allowed.
No, that's not. Oh, well, where are they?
Ohio, I said. May 15th, they're allowed to open
In Ohio.
in Ohio.
I
So
thought
we have
they
to
were
go
closed
to
till
Ohio.
May 15th, which would be midnight, May 15th. So would not be May 15th, but whatever.
She said her appointment's May 15th at 12:15.
Maybe it's 12:15 at night.
Midnight.
Well, it's
I'm sure it's this way.
Hey, Marilyn.
That's better.
Did you
Hi,
guys
Marilyn.
see that our friend Stephen Miller's married to Vice President Pence's aide? Did you guys
Yeah.
know that?
The hard thing is to believe that he's married.
Oh God,
Yeah.
oh God, that's.
Somebody would have him.
But anyway, she has the virus.
We call that gossip, by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah.
That's breaking news. Sorry, it's breaking news.
It is breaking news, and it's.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just-
Trump's valet has.
Maybe we can though find some other space for that conversation, I suppose. As we try to prepare ourselves for Shabbat.
I see you have a mustachio.
Did you use mustache wax?
Tell me
Uh,
how I can run
I'm in quarantine.
negative from positive, please.
Yes, Marilyn, we hope so.
Tired
Yes.
of being positive. I'm still positive, Deb.
Ah,
I want to be negative
yeah.
Be
so I can
negative
go
too.
home.
We're sending you all our negative thoughts.
We'll send them all to Maryland? No.
Negative for Maryland.
Negative is a positive in this case.
Or a test.
Yes,
That's all.
right.
2 negatives equal a positive in multiplication.
Test, right? Stefan, where you been?
Wait, who's asking me? Oh, hey.
I'm not even
Well,
two negative.
remember that-
I'm
remember
not
that-
even
That
one
wonderful woman I was telling you about?
Yeah, this might be gossip, but
It wasn't so wonderful. Everybody knows. It just, you know what? Things were happening that that I was not comfortable with. So I really had to end it.
oh. Well, hopefully the gift shop will be open someday again, and then you can update me. Okay.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully it'll be sooner than later, you know.
Yeah.
All right, folks, I am gonna jump in here and put us all in listening and singing mode. Kendra, you get okay, perfect.
Okay, I'm unmuted, but we still need 2 minutes. Everyone is gathering. Come on, guys, chop, chop.
Okay. Looks like they're coming, and you can take maybe take a moment and start letting Shabbat in. Take a moment and breathe out the week that's gone by. And let Shabbat come in into your space, into your home, into yourself. All right. So once again, Shabbat Shalom. We begin with Shalom Aleichem. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. And once again, let's just take a moment, a brief moment in the space that you're in your sanctuary. Take a moment, acknowledge the prayer you need, the purpose you have and are looking for, your joy, your love. We continue with L'Chadodi. When I reach our ninth and final verse. If you're able, please rise and face the entrance to your sanctuary, wherever you are. The door you walked in from, and welcome the Sabbath bride as Shabbat HaMalkah joins you and all of us tonight. Before we begin Psalm 92, I offer you the reflections of Rabbi Ed Feld. Psalm 92 is built out of a deliberate confusion of past, present, and future. One may read through the Hebrew several times before recognizing which parts of the psalm are talking about the past, which about the future, and which about the present. The opening attribution of the psalm is a song for the Sabbath day, and the confusion of tenses may be one of the reasons the tradition selected this as the Sabbath psalm. For in Jewish tradition, the Sabbath is simultaneously a commemoration of beginnings. The two versions of the Ten Commandments relate it to creation on the one hand, and the Exodus from Egypt on the other. And it is also traditionally understood as a foretaste of the sublime future that will be our portion at the end of time. The completion of the work of creation, which is our ongoing present. And finally, in its simplest meaning, the Sabbath is the ending of the ordinary, current work week, and experienced as present time. Later, Jewish Sabbath ritual observance combines all these elements and described Friday night as a celebration of creation, the Sabbath day as a celebration of Sinai and Torah, and Saturday afternoon as a messianic moment. As we enter this Shabbat and we call out the words of Psalm 92, as we try to distinguish the next 25 hours, keeping them other, separate than the rest of the week. And we feel, I imagine many of us, feel the constraints of Egypt throughout the week. Feel the constraints of the narrowness life gives us at the moment. Our challenge and opportunity on Shabbat is to seek the extraordinary, to seek, as Rabbi Feld alludes to seek the world to come, to seek paradise. That this too, even in our circumstances, is a taste of paradise. So where are those blessings for you on this Shabbat as we sing Psalm 92?
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נורר, עלי היגיון בחינוך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
We continue as we light our Sabbath lights and invite Miriam Shaw to light the candles in her home for all of us and to read the blessing before lighting and the blessing after as well.
As these should, as these Sabbath candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you so much, Miriam. We continue the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba. Yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'b'chayetecho beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, u'bizman kariv ve'imeru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivarach Le'alam Olam Me'almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudsha B'richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata B'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imeru amen.
If you're able, please rise for the Baruch Hu. Please be seated. God of mystery, thank you for the gift of this day, for the one ending and the one about to begin. Help me to see the moments and the hours, those already past and those to come, as blessings, as teachers. Guide me to service for your name's sake. Grant me comfort and rest so that I might enter the new day with a sense of joy, hope, and peace. Then, God of old, I will become a source of love, a beacon of wonder, awe, and grace. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. Torah is gravity, binding us to our ancestors, holding us near to our God, anchoring us with wisdom and understanding. Torah is gravity, tying our lives to our history and our destiny. Mitzvot are light, illuminating our path, brightening our days, showing us the way to holiness and service, leading us to heal the world. Mitzvot are light, shining around us with beauty. Torah is gravity. May your feet never falter. Mitzvot are light. May your hands shine with grace. Gravity and light surround us. Torah mitzvot enliven us. Blessed are God's gifts. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Both of those prayers written by our scholar in residence, Alden Salavi. If you'd like to remain seated for Shema, please do feel free to do that. If you'd like to stand for Shema, you should feel free to do that as well. But in any case, whether seated or standing, to dwell upon our connection, our interconnectedness through the divine in this universe, through the oneness that unites us all. Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, uv'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uv'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. We ask God to watch over us, to shelter us, and whether it's God's hands, the hands of our friends and family surrounding us, even from a distance, or even the limbs of God's earth draped above our heads to shelter us with peace, with a Sukkot Shalom. Hashkivenu. Did everybody lose her?
Elohim
the children of Israel shall guard Shabbat. Shall guard it. What does that mean for you? To guard Shabbat. How is that different than keeping Shabbat? The same word. We translate it two different ways, though. How might you guard Shabbat this week? Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et hashabat, la'asot et hashabat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et hashabat, la'asot et hashabat l'dorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi shavad vaynafash, shavad vaynafash, shavad vaynafash. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et hashabat, la'asot et hashabat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et hashabat, la'asot et hashabat l'dorotam berit olam.
We have reached the Amidah, the central prayer of this evening service, and we will chant out loud the first three blessings, and then there are some intermediate blessings that we'll just do essentially the Chatimah, the last little seal of the prayer together. There will be some time for your own personal private prayer when we may move through that, and then we have a special edition for our as we come out of our silent prayer. So I hope you're waiting with bated breath. If you're able, please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, V'zocher chastei avot v'imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamachazir Shechinato Letzion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, Hato Shimcha Loche Na'eh Lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamavarech et Amo Yisrael v'Shalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. We continue with our own silent private devotion. Thank you, Kol Halev. Thank you, Cantor Hayut, for doing that, for putting that together. That was awesome. Just gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. Thank you, Kol Halev. Thank you, Cantor Hayut. I had prepared a slide for it, but I guess we didn't need it. If you are thinking of a person in your life who's in need of healing, whether of body or mind or spirit, please just add their name to the chat box. Beth Garfield, Anne-Marie Heerwagen, Pat Pigeon, Sam Silver, Joseph Zients, Don Allen, Holly Nakama, Ann Kopko, John and Joanne Barnhart, Marty Scott, Aaron Scott, Marianne Bach, Nolan Reed, Dan Kilburn, Ben, Eileen Bosco, Tamara Conway, Stacy Young, Dina Gitterman and Jane Lockett, Kathy and Katie Dudas, Milton Child, Bridget Ford, Sherilyn Ford, the family of Ahmad Arbery, Rebecca Morris, Joel Mitchell Cohen, Devorah Cohen, Richard Maxwell Green, Debbie Pissarak, Joanne Blumberg, Valentina Wolfson, Hillary Handwerger, Joel Berger, Margaret Leslie, Sydney Usum, Barry Hopkins, Buddy Tepper, Dick Jordanson, Melissa Dorfman, Milton Child, Sherilyn Ford, Robert Morgan, Shmuel Natan Ben Avra Yaakova, Lauren Orzak, Aaron Scott, Jennifer Kinser, Harold Schumacher, excuse me, I'm sorry about that again, Ruth, Valerie Carey, Sharon Israel, Sima Kroll, Debbie Weiner, Nicole Levine, Lance Mermel, Rachel Mermel, Judy Silverman, Alan Dorfman, Rosalind Pollins, Miwa Lewis, Neil Townsend, Tamara Conway, Marilyn Mann, Marilyn Jeffs, Albert Rancourt, Mark Hodling, Sooner Heath, Joan Cohen Jones. We pray for a full and speedy healing for all of us. For all of us, whether we think we need it or not, as we do. Bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Ishe Be'era, Imote. for today, we go to the other end of the Gitterman house. But I gotta find you. There you are. Last week we had Dave. This week Susan. Don't let the name underneath her screen fool you. It's not Dave. It's Susan there chanting.
Yeah, I can talk that.
As we chant from this week's Torah portion and more, I'll follow along on with the cursor there so that you can follow in the Hebrew if you'd like.
בחמישה עשר יום לחודש השביעי באוספכם את תבואת הארץ תחוגו את חג אדוני שבעת ימים ביום הראשון שבתון וביום השמיני שבתון ולקחתם לכם ביום הראשון לראות חדר כפות תמרים וענף עץ אבות וערבי נחל ושמחתם לפני אדוני אלוהיכם שבעת ימים וחגותם אותו חג לאדוני שבעת ימים בשנה חוקת עולם לדורותיכם בחודש השביעי תחוגו אותו בסוכות תשבו שבעת ימים כל העזרה בישראל ישבו בסוכות למען ידעו דורותיכם כי בסוכות הושבתי את בני ישראל בהוציאי אותם מארץ מצרים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Shakoch. Thank you so much, Susan. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And even chanting from our sanctuary. So, I thought something different for today. But inspired by the Torah portion and by our circumstances. Inspired by the fact that in this Torah portion, we come in the midst of God commanding us about the festivals, the pilgrimage festivals, and when God commands about the Omer and Shavuot, well, it doesn't actually call it Shavuot, but that's okay. But this festival, the second festival where the barley harvest is brought, it ends with the commandment to, which is repeated a few times in Torah, to leave the corners of your field untouched, to not harvest those corners of your field, to not pick up the gleanings from your field. That those things are to be left for other people. They don't belong to you. They don't belong to you. And so, inspired by that part of the Torah portion, and again, our circumstances today, a story. Once there was a kingdom that everyone called paradise. It was called paradise not because it was more beautiful or any richer than any other place, but because of the way people who lived there cared for one another. In this kingdom, if a friend needed something from a friend, someone stepped forward to help without even being asked. And if a neighbor needed something from a neighbor, someone would respond cheerfully and graciously without ever asking for anything in return. If a stranger needed something, people came forward to help with hospitality, generosity, and kindness. All of this was because of the wise king. The king knew that his subjects would treat one another the way he treated them, so he always was careful and attentive and helpful. If he couldn't help someone, he would at least listen and express his concern. But at last the king grew old, and he appointed his son, the prince, to rule in his place when the time came. And soon the king died, and the prince assumed the throne. But this prince was not wise like his father. No, this prince was not wise like his father. Or he wasn't kind, and he did not treat people the way his father did. The royal ministers approached the prince and declared, "Your Majesty, we've got a terrible problem. There's a famine in a certain corner of the land, and all the people there are starving. We have to do something." "They're starving?" the prince said impatiently. "Yes, starving. They have no food to feed their children." "But I have plenty of food," responded the prince, after taking a bite off of his chicken drumstick and pulling the meat off. If they're starving, I'm sorry, but it's not really my problem." And perhaps your Majesty didn't understand. People are suffering and they haven't any food. They'll die if we don't do something. "Well, I'm sorry, it's just not my problem." The ministers shook their heads in disbelief and slowly walked away. And just then another group of royal messengers approached the throne. "Your Majesty, there's a terrible situation. A river has become completely polluted, and the people who are living along its banks have no water to drink. We have to help them." "No water?" said the prince, as he's pouring himself a large glass of water. "Your Majesty, there's no water. People are dying of thirst." "But I have plenty of water," responded the prince, holding up his glass. I'm sorry, but it's just not my problem." No one in the royal court seemed to be able to move the prince, and every problem that was presented to him met with the same bothered look and same response: "I'm sorry, but it's just not my problem." Before long, everyone in the kingdom was acting like the prince. When a friend needed help from a friend, or a neighbor needed a hand from a neighbor, the one who was beseeched would look bothered and respond, "You need help? Well, I'm sorry, but that's not my problem." And since they refused to help one another, they certainly refused to help strangers. And soon the kingdom had changed completely. It was no longer paradise. It was a wilderness, a wasteland. Soon no one remembered the kingdom that once was. No one but one fisherman. That fisherman remembered the old king and the way things used to be, and it hurt him. It hurt him that everyone had become so selfish, had become like the prince. If only he could remind people and teach them. But what was one fisherman supposed to do? And then one day he thought of a solution. He gathered all his money and he brought all of his tools and paints and material, and he set to work fixing up an old fishing boat he had. He decided he would turn it into a yacht, and not just any yacht, the most beautiful yacht in the harbor. And the fisherman, he worked hard. He worked day and night, and people would come by and admire his boat, and they'd say, "Hey, fisherman, when you're done, will you take us for a ride on your yacht?" "Sure," he said. "Everyone will be invited." It took him an entire year to finish his work, and when the yacht was ready, the fisherman made a huge sign and posted it up for all to see, and he invited everyone to come for a ride on the lake to celebrate the yacht's first voyage. Everyone came that Sunday morning, even the prince. It was an amazing, fantastic, beautiful day, and the sun was bright and warm, and the lake was calm, and the fisherman guided his yacht out into the harbor. And when he reached the middle of the bay, far from shore, he dropped the anchor and he invited everyone to enjoy themselves. There was music and dancing and food. It was a total delight. Just gorgeous. Everybody was having a wonderful time. And then late in the afternoon, the wind picked up a bit and the waves rocked the boat a bit, and the guests started asking, so fisherman, maybe it's time to maybe head home. Can we go home now? The fisherman said, sure, but but before we do, there's just one thing I need to do. And he opened up his toolbox and he brought out a large hand drill. And he walked to the exact center of the boat and positioned the drill on the hole, and he began to drill. Say, fisherman, what are you doing? I'm drilling a hole. But why are you drilling a hole? Why? Because it's a nice day for drilling holes, he responded. But, fisherman, if you drill a hole in the boat, water will rush in and the boat will sink and we'll all drown. And the fisherman continued drilling. And the people began to cry, fisherman, please, please stop. You must stop. Nope. It's my boat. It's my drill. And I'm going to drill this hole. Now, thankfully, one of the townspeople remembered the prince was on board. He'll take care of this. Get the prince! Get the prince! Someone get the prince! He'll save us! Now, the prince came on over, looked down on the fisherman, stood there in his royal robe, looking quite glamorous, and looked to the fisherman and said, fisherman, what are you doing? Fisherman said, I'm drilling a hole. And in his most princely voice, why are you doing this? Because I feel like it, responded the fisherman. Now, fisherman, if you make a hole in the boat will sink and we'll all drown. Uh-huh. Now, at this point, the prince was getting a little nervous, and there were beads of sweat on his forehead, and he was losing his composure a bit, and certainly was not speaking in his, full princely voice. And he said, fisherman, I command you to stop. But the fisherman just ignored him and kept on drilling, and the prince began to lose his temper, and gone was all of his composure. And he just looked at the fisherman, just like every other frightened person on the boat, and he said, fisherman, but what gives you the right to do this? Well, it's my boat, it's my drill, and I'm gonna make a hole. Now please move aside, you're blocking my light. And the prince looked at him crying, please, fisherman, please, I don't want to drown. I don't want to get eaten by fish. Please, fisherman, please. Finally, the fisherman stopped his drilling and looked at the prince. You don't want the boat to sink? You don't want to drown? Well, I'm sorry, but it's not my problem. And the prince responded, what do you mean it's not your problem? Anyone can see that if I have a problem, you have a problem. And if you have a problem, I have a problem. If any of us have a problem, everybody has a problem because we're all on the same boat. Yeah. If I have a problem, you have a problem. And if you have a problem, I have a problem. If anyone has a problem, then everyone has a problem. Because we're all in the same boat. Anyone can see that. Yes, said the fisherman. Anyone can see that. Yes, said everyone on the boat. Anyone can see that. And so the fisherman said, now we can go home. And he pulled the drill out from the hole, and he turned the boat around and sailed safely back to the harbor. The people who got off that boat were changed forever. Never again would friend turn to friend or neighbor turn to neighbor or anyone turn to a stranger and say those terrible words. Instead, whenever a friend needed help from a friend or a neighbor needed help from a neighbor or a stranger needed some kindness, and whenever anyone came before the prince, he or she would hear, "Please, let me help you. Because if you have a problem, I have a problem. And if I have a problem, you have a problem. If anyone has a problem, then everyone has a problem. You see, we're all in the same boat." And once again, the kingdom was paradise. We continue with Aleinu, and just a gentle reminder that the words here are a little different than what we typically do in our sanctuary. They are more inclusive in their nature, and so be mindful of that as we chant through Aleinu. Please rise if you're able. Cantor Ayut, are you still with us? There you are. Okay. I gotcha. You're unmuted.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Rock of Jacob, comfort of Rachel, broken and torn, shattered and crushed, bereaved and bereft, we declare your holy name. We praise your gifts and your works. You are author and artist, architect and builder, source and redeemer. We, the mourners of Zion and Israel, comfort each other. We console the lonely and embrace the lost. We cry each other's tears. Together we recall your wonder and your majesty. Holy One, ineffable Redeemer, guiding hand, gentle hand, loving hand, Light of Israel, you are our shelter. We are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Gennady Nemstov, Myrna Miller, Jonathan Gorwitz, Harold Schumacher, Tova Salinger, Bobby Lewis, Bart Cohen, and Tom Barber. I will also, of course, read the names from our yahrzeit list. If there are other names, though, to add to that list, please add those names in our chat box. Norma Bernstein, Selma Brunner, Barbara Boll, Elmo Crothers, Pauline DiPietro, Abraham Eisen, William Eisenberg, Bert Epstein, Harriet Fink, Jack Friedman, Abraham Goldsmith, Sylvia Goetzman, Daniel Herschel, Samuel Honigstock, Ida Horowitz, Ruth Kaufman, Meyer Lipschutz, Milton Lipson, Robin Melnick, Louis Model, Aline Nagel, Nancy Palchik, Selma Perrell, Paul Peters, Francis Rogers, Narit Rothstein, Helen Rubin, Samuel Sparrow, John Siegel, Don Shavit, Rudy Spring, Maxine Steiner, Eleanor Sunshine, Lisa Thalheimer, Jerome Weingarten, and Abe Zittimer. We add to that list Rosa Rothschild, David Brown, Mark Michkan, Mark Pigeon, Pedro Alberto Carbonetas, John Bigham. For all of those mentioned, for all of those who go unmentioned, and for all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayed chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lomei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen.
Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Amen.
Zichronam livracha, may their memories be forever a blessing. Please be seated. And Torah study 8:50 tomorrow. Shabbat services 10 o'clock. Havdalah 7:30. It goes on and on, which is great. It's fun to do, and it's wonderful to have so many of you show up for what we're doing as a community together. Tuesday night, I want to highlight a few things. One, well, if you weren't already in Rabbi Daniel's Talmud class on Tuesdays at 11, you can now join Tuesday night at 8 p.m. He's starting from the beginning, starting over from the beginning of his teaching. And so really trying to get a good understanding and solid foundation of Talmud. So do join him 8 o'clock Tuesday night. That'll be an ongoing class. But right before that, at 7, from 7 to 8, because it's Lag BaOmer, and you'll learn more about that on the actual day. I'm gonna have a bonfire in my backyard. You're invited to it through Zoom. We're gonna be playing some music. Me, Dave Gitterman. Thank you, Dave, for agreeing to that. Some folk songs, maybe some classic rock. We'll see where the night takes us. But you should also bring your instruments. If you have a song to share, or an instrument, your voice, whatever the case may be, bring it, and you can share it with us over Zoom, and we'll sing along with you. So that's Tuesday at 7 o'clock. You can try to roast s'mores on my fire, but I don't know if it's gonna work so well. But still, so again, Tuesday 7 o'clock. That'll be a lot of fun. Do check out the calendar. Alden Salavi continues next week and the week after, and then eventually here live in person. We hope next year. We'll see. Yeah, there'll be lots of more information coming out about things we're doing and changes we're making. So I do hope you're following along. You should be getting a Sunday night email as well now from us, just to sort of update on the week. So you're getting that Thursday email and now Sunday night with just sort of quick links to all of the things that are happening. So keep an eye out for that as well now Sunday night. I don't think, Cantor, are you anything else we need to
covered all the big highlights. I mean, yes, there's so much more going on, but check the calendar for everything else. These are the really nice new things that are happening this week.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the bonfire. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a good time. I realized we forgot to count the Omer, so let's do that right now. And I'll read to you from Rabbi Karen Kedar's book on counting the Omer, as I've been reading to the morning blessing sessions. So they're sort of thoughtful pieces, sort of preparing us for the day. There is something in life more important, more beautiful, and more satisfying than what we think is important. That something is an internal place beyond thought, beyond form. Our thoughts about what we want, what we wish were different, and where we would rather be will come and go. But behind these thoughts, before their very formation, a deeper level of life is waiting for our attention. This is the realm of the soul. The soul is the part of us that watches our thoughts come and go. It's not thoughts themselves. For most of us, certainly for me, thoughts are extremely compelling. We think, we feel, then we think some more. And we want to believe that if we could just think through our dissatisfactions or analyze our problems, we would somehow feel better. But that never works, because nourishment for the soul comes not from the intellect, but from the heart. We can't think our way to happiness. Instead, we must open ourselves to our true nature, which is happiness. From Richard Carlson in Handbook for the Soul. And Rabbi Kedar's reflection on that piece. The path was an incline, rocky, a bit hard to navigate. It was made harder by a swarm of grasshoppers. They jumped and flew around my ankles and calves, bumping into me, scratchy and annoying. But this was their path, and there was no way to fight it. So I paused a moment and I listened. They were yellow, 2 to 3 inches long. And they were busy, a colony of vibration jumping into light, and then I heard them, a clatter of sound like the Mormon Tabernacle choir. a vibrant song unto God. And I looked up, and between the mountains, distant from the path, was a clearing, a field. It too seemed alive, silently vibrating with shimmers of light. I squinted, thinking it was a mirage, the way heat looks like waves off a hood of a hot car. But no, it was the small leaves of the trees. They seemed to clutch the wind and the light and were dancing, unabashed, thinking no one was there to see. But there I was, called upon to be a testifying witness. So I swear to the holy presence of music and splendor and to the capacity of the soul to see and hear what is often invisible and silent, the universe alive with grandeur. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Praise be you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe, instilling within us the holiness of mitzvot by commanding us to count the Omer. Today is the 30th day, 4 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. We raise our Kiddush wine and offer the blessing. At the very beginning of everything, when God created the heaven and the earth, God made a separation between the sea above and the sea below, and God planted plants on the earth and put the sun and the stars in the sea above, and put the fish and the sea monsters in the sea below, and the flying creatures in the sea above, and then created the creepy crawly things to crawl all over the earth, and then finally created us human beings, and said to us, now it's time to rest. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziyat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat. L'chaim.
I am.
And if you haven't eaten dinner already, I'll leave you to your motzi on your own. And let's return to our final closing song.
Before we do our final closing song, I want to say 2 quick thank yous. One of them to Taylor, who helped us put together the Yehi L'Ratzon, and I'm sorry that my computer wigged out afterwards, so I'm glad to be back after that. And then to Fernando, this is his last night with us. He's heading home to San Diego soon. And so I just wanted to say a special thank you for helping us with services and helping make the music so rich and beautiful.
Thank you, Fernando, and safe travels to you.
Thank you.
His hometown.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. So, Oseh Shalom Bimromav. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Me'al Kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Me'al Kol Yisrael. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu.
Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Be'oko Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Be'oko Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom. And Mark, Mazel Tov on the birth of your grandniece. Wonderful, wonderful. And before everybody starts leaving, I really want to do. Mark, you talked about a virtual oneg for JFS. That's awesome. I also want to do a virtual oneg here that we can all bring our sweet something to sweeten the Shabbat and at least share what it looks like with each other and eat together maybe after services. So maybe next week. Shall we do that next week? Yeah, bring a cookie, a cake, a fruit, whatever it is that's gonna add some sweetness to your Shabbat, and we'll stick around a little bit afterwards and share that together. If you would like to stick around now, and I'll break you up into breakout rooms, and you can have a little Shabbat oneg, the delight of Shabbat with just other people. Stick around right now, and we'll do that in a moment, and we'll spend like 2 minutes in the room, and then come out and go into a totally different room and say Shabbat Shalom to people, and hopefully have a good time. I'm gonna actually unmute everybody. Everybody should be unmuted. Or at least you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Okay. I think I'm unmuted.
Oh. Lots of dogs tonight.
Night. Shabbat Shalom.
Hello. My
Beautiful
cat might
service.
join.
Yeah, isn't it?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Hi.
All right, here we go.
Shabbat Shalom.
You can
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Good to see everyone.
Number 9.
Breakout room.
Shabbat Shalom from me and my cat. It's Peggy.
That's a huge cat.
She looks big because she's very fluffy, but she's actually pretty tiny. She's about half fur.
Hey Ellie, hey Ed.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Julie, you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, great. Okay.
Hi,
Jordan, Jordan, are you there? Marilyn, I see you, even though it's sort of dark in your room. How is everybody?
Good.
All right.
Good. It's great.
I didn't make it, Josh.
Oh. Did you just get on?
I just found out another week of positive.
I'm sorry, Marilyn. Marilyn, you will get through this. You're doing so well. You're doing so well. I know that, the blood work isn't right, but you're doing well.
It just keeps going on and on and on.
I know.
That's a nasty bug.
It is a nasty bug. But I am really, hopeful with you, Marilyn. You're not exhibiting the symptoms that are so dangerous.
I know it, but I can't seem to shake it being positive.
I understand that, but eventually your body will defeat it.
I hope so. Going to services tonight and hearing your story really helped me.
Good.
So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Thank you. It's great to see you. I love seeing you every day, Marilyn.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm going to be at your bonfire.
Okay.
Your
Awesome.
virtual bonfire.
Excellent. I look forward to having you there. You'll bring the warmth, Marilyn, okay? Hey, Martha.
Yeah, hi.
Long time no see. It's great to see you.
I ordered this webcam and it took quite a while for it to arrive, and then it took longer for me to figure out how to use it.
Yeah.
It's such a great picture. How awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
How are you doing, Cantor?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Are you? Good. Doing well.
The house
Very
smells
well.
good. We made bread today. We were just having salad. It was so delicious. And
where are you actually? In your house?
Right, we're back.
Yes.
We're all in our homes.
That's it.
So everybody's in
Oh,
their own
hello
home.
there, Harriet and Harriet. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Hello, Ale.
All right. In the
Hi.
interest of Oneg, I'm gonna go grab my matzo ball soup really quick.
Pleasure.
Here we go.
Okay.
Do a new
the other
room.
bunch?
She
All right.
created.
When was the breakout?
Oh, there you are again.
That's right. We're in limbo.
There, Linda. I hit.
That's right. You know, before they send us off to another room.
Hey, Bill Parkus, how are you doing?
Hey, good. How are you, Stefan?
I'm good. I didn't I didn't expect to be back. I mean, that's not really what I wanted or what either of us wanted, but you find out you're not compatible with someone. Oh my God, are you still there?
All coming back.
Oh,
Maybe I should tell you about this another time.
yes.
Sounds personal.
Because
Can
I'm
we do it
telling
again,
like
everybody?
half the
Brotherhood.
congregation.
Hey,
Give me a nod yes. Everybody's muted. Give me a nod yes if you want to do the breakout rooms again. Yeah, okay, great. Great. If you don't, then that's okay too. You certainly can take off, but we'll do it again for another like 2-3 minutes, okay? We can keep doing this. I think it's fun. I hope you do too. There you go. Everybody's back. Should we do it again? You can always opt out. You can always opt out by signing out. I'm gonna do it again. But if one more time, it looks Mark's saying one more time, maybe one more time for other people. Jordan, nice beard. I like that. Looking good. All right, let's recreate our rooms. And here we go. Marilyn, are you there?
Don't you?
Yeah.
Marilyn, you still there? Yeah.
Sounds like it didn't turn off.
Don't turn it on again.
No, it's not off.
It's still on, Marilyn.
See?
Still on.
Still on. You're still with us.
In the right-hand corner.
I'll try to turn it.
Jordan, you there? All right, folks. Shabbat shalom to everybody. Have a great week. Great to see everybody. Shabbat shalom. Thank you.